Well, the main detective work had already been done before Crimewatch was involved. There'd been a murder. Detectives thought they knew the likely killer, but they had to find him. It began when a GP was called to a house in West London in November 1996.
Well, it was a Saturday morning and I arrived at this house in Chiswick, a very large house, and obviously not seen a lick of paint for some years. And when I got to the room at the top, it was a creepy room.
I'm sorry. Your brother's been dead for a couple of days. When did you find him?
This morning.
Don't you live here?
Yes, but I don't see him every day.
I think we should phone the police.
The phone is downstairs.
The sister didn't show any emotion at all or didn't ask me any questions, which all seemed a bit bizarre.
The dead man was Jan Polak, a 67-year-old Polish emigre who'd lived in Britain for 40 years. The post-mortem would reveal 35 bruises and lacerations.
My first impression was that he'd probably been attacked on the way home and maybe robbed, but he'd managed to stagger home and somehow put himself to bed and died in bed overnight.
Morning. Morning. Morning, Brian. Morning. All right to go in? Yeah, should be fine.
But my gut feeling was things weren't quite right. You've got to bear in mind that Jan had a lot of injuries.
There's blood on the edge of the table here. Pinpricks of blood.
Does that help?
We came to this country in 1948. Jan went up to Scotland to live and work, and then he came to live with me.
When did you see him last?
I saw him last on Thursday. He left to go to the pub to drink and to play pool.
Which pubs did he drink at?
I don't know.
Hello, I'm D.C. Matthews. Could I have a quick chat?
Yeah, sure, come in.
So, Brian, what have you got for me?
Well, for starters, you see there's hair on it, not just blood. Jan got his head injury from the table. He was attacked right here. There's blood all over the floor, and the chemicals have brought this out.
Well, they're footprints of trainers.
Yes.
There's no trainers in the house.
Nope.
So they must be the attackers.
Right.
The 7th of November.
Thursday last week?
Yeah.
It was late in the evening. I was already asleep, and this noise woke me up.
Well, what noise?
Well, it sounded like two men were arguing.
Always you want to come home here.
And they were loud enough to get me out of bed.
You've got your own place to go to.
I'm not going halfway across London at this time of night.
Yes, you are. That's not how you're...
Amelia said I could stay.
Amelia.
I also heard running water. My room's pretty close to their bathroom. It was odd because it sounded like somebody was running a bath, but without putting the plug in.
Did you hear him come in at night time?
No, I lock my door each evening when he is drunk. Sometimes he becomes aggressive.
Aggressive in the pub?
I think sometimes he was thrown out of the pub.
It was about 2 weeks ago. Had a small party. Wasn't that loud, really, but the old boy complained.
Gee-ho! The music is too loud!
The other bloke didn't say a word.
What was this guy like?
Younger, much younger than Jan.
Polizie!
They seem as though they're good friends.
His friends? Who were his friends?
He never brought anybody back. We don't have visitors.
And what did you do on the Friday?
I cooked him fish. He was not there when it was ready, so I put it under the grill. And the next morning, I found him. I loved him like a son.
So nothing was unusual?
From Thursday during the evening until the time I discovered Janek, I never heard anything in the house, nor no one came to see me.
I think you better see this. There's blood all the way down. The door would always certainly have been open.
Whose room is it?
It's Amelia's room.
Right. Well, we'll have to search the whole house from top to bottom, starting tomorrow morning.
We could prove that Amelia was lying, but why was she lying? That's what we wanted to know. The fact that her brother had received over 30 different injuries, but yet she was still telling lies about what had happened. And of course the immediate thing was, who was she trying to protect? We established that a man called Simon Richards had been arrested for paint spraying, and on his arrest he'd given the address of 31 Esmond Road. We dug a little deeper into Simon Richards and found out that he got another address in Surbiton. Simon Richards was in fact Edward Adler and the nephew of Jan Polak.
I'm from the police. You're Amelia's sister. Can I come in? When did you hear about Jan's death?
On Saturday, Amelia phoned me. She said there had been a tragedy, that Jan had died. I went round to her house. I went up the stairs to the attic room. Jan was on the bed. He had a wound on his head. He was an alcoholic. He always came in with wounds. I told Amelia to phone the doctor and to call the police.
Did you notice any other injuries?
He was covered with a white sheet.
And your son?
My son?
Did your son ever visit Amelia?
He saw my sister quite often. They got on well.
And last week? Did he visit Amelia last week?
He stayed there early in the week and came back on Wednesday.
Oh, so he was here on Thursday when Jan died?
Yes. He slept here Thursday night.
Do you have a photograph of him?
No.
You don't have a photograph of your son?
No.
Hiya.
Hi.
Do you mind if I put a poster up?
No problem. Cheers. Poor old Jan.
Yeah, poor old Jan.
Well, did you know him?
Yeah, he used to drink in here a couple of times a week. Known him a few years. He's a friendly old boy. Gentleman. Never raised his voice. Everybody liked him.
The day he died, he was playing pool in here.
That night, he played with that young bloke.
What young bloke?
Oh, I don't know. He used to get in here every so often. Irritating type. Drinking specials that night. Got very agitated.
Come on, take a shot.
No, I've had enough.
Come on, take a shot.
No, I want to go.
Take one last
I
shot.
actually said to Tom, should we let Jan go home with that young bloke?
And?
Well, she's Jan's nephew, so...
Jan's nephew.
Where's your son?
He's gone.
Where?
I don't know where.
Come on, Bron. We know he was there that Thursday night with Jan. And tell me what happened.
Edward had a bruise on his face. Stupid stuff. He said they had a fight, an argument.
Tell me what happened.
Edward didn't mean to hurt Jan. It was the accident.
I'm staying here! Yes, I'll tell you. I've had enough. Get out of here. I'm not going anywhere. Go on.
He was still here when you came last week. We talked about giving himself up to the police. But the next day he left. He was frightened. He didn't want to go to prison. And that night he phoned to say, I can't live without you. He was very sad. I'm very worried. He hasn't made contact since then. That was over a week ago now.
We now got our main suspect, Edward Adler. I knew that he could be a violent man because of the severe injuries that had been inflicted on Jan. But we'd no starting point to try and find him. He'd no friends, he'd never worked. We obviously did the checks at all airports and ports to see if he'd left the country. We didn't know where he'd gone to.
His nephew had been staying with him, but he's since disappeared.
Yeah, it's you, mate.
That's not me. That could be anyone.
Easy.
It's not
Edward
me.
Adler immediately walked out of the youth hostel where he'd been staying in North London. But someone from the hostel phoned the incident room. So next month, Crimewatch reappealed. It was a murder, and it's thought he saw himself on Crimewatch, but he's disappeared. Please call us. This time, the programme caused a reaction on Tyneside, where an off-duty detective had been working in the custody suite at the police station that day.
Jesus, it's him.
If you've seen him, please ring us right away. 0500 600 600 or call
It's Stacey Gibson. I need the custody sergeant. John. John, is that you? The person that was arrested for the Bedford Ford and Wall's End today. Have you still got him? Great, yeah. He's wanted for murder. I'm coming straight down. See ya. Ta-ra. You're Edward Adler, aren't you?
No, I'm Mark Falshall.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens when we check your fingerprints, right?
Confirmed as Edward Adler.
Great.
Right. When he comes down, I want you two to interview him.
Okay.
Right.
I didn't mean to kill him. It was an accident.
But he had over 30 injuries. Did you punch him?
Yeah, maybe.
How many times?
7, 8, maybe 10.
So you knew he was dead then?
No.
Well, when did you know he was dead?
It was on a Saturday. I went back to the house and there were police everywhere. And I got frightened.
What did you do?
We dragged him up the stairs.
We? Who's we?
Amelia had hold of his legs. I took him to the bathroom and I washed him. Then I took him back to his bedroom. I kept saying, "Wake up, wake up."
Edward Adler pleaded guilty to manslaughter and was sentenced at the Old Bailey to 5 years. Last month, on appeal, the sentence was reduced to 3 years.